What's up, everyone? This is Anthwon Thomas with another episode of the High Value Agent Podcast, where we inspire people to create a better life through real estate. And joining me today is my guy, my dude, someone who's really made a big impact on our business, Travis Halverson. Brother, how you doing today, man?
Great. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on here. It's an honor.
Absolutely, man. I'm honored to have you on here because Travis is the lead database conversion manager and lead ISA coach at Digital Maverick. If you have been living under a rock, and you don't know who Travis is and Digital Maverick, please, you need to listen to this podcast episode all the way through. Why? He, along with all the other badasses at Digital Maverick, they manage over 80, probably 100 plus databases. They manage 80 plus ISAs. That includes millions and millions of leads that they manage. Okay, we're talking about the top teams in the industry. They are in their database managing and helping them convert at a high level. Now, this isn't like a testimonial, right? But we hired Travis and Digital Maverick last May. So right now it's 2025. In 2024, May of 2024, we hired Travis and Digital Maverick, and they helped us increase our conversion within our database. And check this out. We were able to increase our overall production, our overall business by 47% in 2024 compared to 2023. 47% increase.
That's huge. I love that. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So why should you listen to Travis? Why should you learn more about him and Digital Maverick? Is because of that. This man in Digital Maverick and all the people that are within Easy Home Search and all that, they are the truth. And I am a living and breathing testimonial of that. Okay. So with that being said, Travis, man, I'm gonna have you dive into your growth journey. You know, what you and Digital Maverick do to help agents and teams across the country convert more leads. And here's the reality, people. We don't need more leads. We need to convert more of the leads that we already have, okay? Yep. What better man to help us with that is my guy, T. So, T, my brother, again, I'm excited to have you on here. We're going to dive right in, man.
No, I appreciate that. That's awesome. I actually had no idea. I didn't know those numbers. I never really have a chance to pay attention. I just always hope that we can bring an impact or just change people's lives as much as possible. I never know. Obviously CEOs and you guys keep track of that stuff. So which is huge. But yeah, I never asked people for testimonials and stuff. So I never know. I'm just I'm hoping I'm still with them. So hopefully they're doing good. I'm pretty sure everything's going the way we want it to go. So that's awesome. Yeah. Congratulations to you and your team. You guys put in the work. That's the best part. And I mean, that's really what it means. And it's not a matter of you hired us. I think always just the fact that we partnered with you. You know what I mean? That's what Preston always says, partnering with people. It's not a matter of you're their you're a vendor to them. Yes, but at the same time, it's you're in this together because there are things on your end that you have to do. You know what I mean? In order to make it work, it's not just on us. You know what I mean? We can only do a certain amount, but it has to be a partnership or it will never work. So.
For sure. No, I appreciate that because it is a partnership and I really, truly, genuinely see you guys as a part of my team.
Absolutely. Right? That's how I feel, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
That's what I always want to tell people. I'm this isn't set it and forget it and never talk to me. It's the people that talk to me and actually care to have conversations with me are super successful. They're working it. You know what I mean? They understand. They ask the questions. They're not just all right, you're turned on. I'll talk to you later. It's
yep.
Never see those people again.
And that's what I appreciate about you and what you guys do is because not only have we been able to, increase our business here at Silver Lining, in this partnership with Digital Maverick with you, but we've been able to establish a awesome relationship, man. Yeah, and through that, I've been able to learn so much, right? From the standpoint of the ratios, the numbers, what to look for in the database. You guys give it all away. Yeah. You're helping us be better, but you're educating us as well. And I really appreciate that. So let's unpack that, man. Let everybody know, what is Digital Maverick?
Digital Maverick, I mean, in all honesty, the way that I always looked at it was, so it used to be called Chet Black Digital. So it was called Chet Black Digital when I first joined John and Preston about two and a half years ago. It actually just popped up. I think it was about 2.5 years ago. But went to it was Myrtle Beach Connection Summit, right? And that's when Preston and John had Cheplack Digital. And that was where Preston was running like Google AdWords for teams. Like he was doing their pay-per-click, a lot of that stuff before even easy home search was a thing, right? And then from there, Preston asked me, he's just like, hey man, come be a coach for us. Like come do conversion coaching for us. We have all these teams that are getting these leads, but they don't know what to do with them. So he's like, I'm generating all these things. So it kind of just complemented itself, made it like more like the yin to his yang and business and how he was generating stuff. So, so yeah, when I joined on with them, it was great because like I was super excited. I never did coaching or anything like that. I just knew what I was talking about when it came to like how to convert leads. At least try, because I've been an ISA for 7 or 8 years, and so it was exciting. So when I got on board with them, we realized, man, John wanted to really impress and wanted to rebrand and just turn it into Digital Maverick, which was because John has that Maverick, Maverick like coaching consulting stuff. So like us, we were like, hey, let's just do Digital Maverick. So we rebranded to that, which has been awesome. It's where we have different offerings inside of it. There's conversion coaching with like Nikki. There's conversion coaching with me. There is like the AI platform that we offer as standalone. Then there's DCM. I think Preston still does AdWords. I don't know if I think he kind of grandfathered that away, but it's just a place where anything digitally like that you need help with, like we can figure it out. Like we'll do it. So like that's our goal really. It's just to help the teams really grow through digital like platforms.
That's huge, man.
Yeah.
And the reason why I am so I'm thankful that Preston had the visionary mindset. John had that visionary mindset to understand like what is a huge problem that we have in our industry and how can we provide a solution to people that are serious about their business.
Oh, yeah.
What solution could we provide that would help people convert more leads? Because that's the issue, right? Like people struggle in business because they probably don't have leads or they don't know how to convert them. Oh yeah, that's the reason why businesses in real estate they no longer are here. Agents struggle.
I can't tell you how many times I saw Preston talk people out of buying easy home search leads. Like his product, he's talked people away from signing up for easy home search because he's like, how are you going to convert these? They're like, well, I mean, it's like you can't just buy these if you don't know how you're going to convert them. He's like, he would always be like, I recommend you signing up with Travis and Digital Maverick before you come over to easy home search, because if you don't have a game plan, he's like, we're just going to generate leads. You're not going to be happy because they're not going to convert because you won't know you're converting. You know what I mean? So he's always just laughing. He's like, I feel like I'm the anti-salesman. He says, he's like, I'll talk people off of buying leads because they already have leads and they're not converting those. So what would more leads do for them? You know what I mean? So
yep.
Yeah, it's an interesting, it's an interesting snake eating its own tail kind of thing where it comes back all full circle. So it's fun.
Yeah. I believe there's a stat out there that 5 to 8% of your database is going to convert or transact in real estate over a 12-month period or something like that. Is that right?
It's like 8. We were saying like anywhere between like 7 to 8% of your database will move every year, right? Like so whatever your database is, like someone in your database will transact 7 to 8% of it, no matter what. You know what I mean? That's like the average what we've seen.
Bingo. So it's like if you're not converting at just know if you have people in a database, you have opportunities.
Oh, yeah.
The problem is your bottleneck is you probably don't have a process or a system or accountability in how to convert those opportunities, right? Yeah. And so I just want you to always take a moment and filter your decision making based on, am I optimizing what I already have? Now, what I love about Travis and Digital Maverick is they are that solution. Okay, so let me kind of share what made me make that decision to partner with Digital Maverick and Travis, and how I met Travis. So this time last year, we were in a completely different CRM. Okay, and I'm not going to mention the name of the CRM, but we weren't really. It wasn't a great fit for the team that we have, and as we're growing, we needed a CRM that was going to allow us to have more transparency and more be able to increase the accountability as far as how the leads are going to be managed, right? Yeah. So we made the transition into Follow Up Boss. And I was like, okay, cool. We can make that transition, but I want to make sure that if we make this transition, that behaviors are changing too. like we're not just going to change technology and not change behavior. So we got to figure out a way to make sure that we're going to do this stuff the right way. So guess what? You know, I'm in the Cheplack community, right? You know, I've met Preston and had conversations, and I think I was already following Travis on Facebook. I was like, you know what? They were offering this solution, database management, and I was like, well, hell, if we're going to make the transition into Follow Up Boss, let's go ahead and partner with them so then we can optimize what we got, because we got like 20,000 plus leads in our CRM.
Oh yeah.
So then I got connected with T, and man, I'm telling you, like I could pull up my Sisu right now, and you'll see from the time we made that partnership and we made the change in FUB for the rest of the year up to today, you will see an increase in our overall conversion,
activity,
everything to under contracts to closings. Like it was such a big transition for us. So that was
I love that.
Yep. Go ahead.
I mean, and I think, and honestly, the awesome thing about that is like, just because hearing you talk about it, I think it was me and you that when we got on that call and we looked at everything and we just saw like what it looked like 2 months ago. And then we looked at this month, you know what I mean? Just saw it. It was like, wow, you guys increased every single time just in FUB numbers. You know what I mean? The number of call attempts, the number of conversions, the number like, I know what I mean? And you weren't bringing on like you weren't like actively like recruiting, like that wasn't your main focus. It was learning the system right now. So you're like, these are just the numbers with the same team I have right now. It was still just going up every month with the same agents. You know what I mean? It was just because we were focused on understanding the system, learning the system, and making sure the agents understood it as well. You know what I mean? So it was super cool to see.
Hell yeah. Let's talk about, if you were to, let's say people listening to this, maybe they're struggling. Maybe they look at their database, they see all these opportunities in there, and they're like, man, like I know we can convert better. What advice would you give that struggling agent or team when it comes to database management or converting at a higher level? Is there anything you can give away?
Yes, no, absolutely. I'll give everything away. I mean, honestly, what it comes down to, my big thing that I always noticed as an ISA was if you're really focused on conversion, how are you distributing leads? Like if you're a brand new agent on a team, and this is something John said, but you don't, he always said, like, what is it? Feed the stallion, starve the ponies. If I have an agent on my team that's willing to work and do the effort, like I'm going to reward that. If I have a lazy ass agent, I can swear on here, right? I apologize.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, cool. If I have a lazy ass agent, man, and they're just not doing the work or not putting the effort, like I'm not going to reward that. Like that doesn't, like I don't care like how tenured you may be. Yes, there might be perks for being tenured and doing the work. You know what I mean? Like obviously there's going to be differences, but like if I have a brand new green agent that joins my team and like he is doing the work and doing the effort, I'm going to take a little bit of extra time and try and throw opportunities at him and see what he's capable of. You know what I mean? And like, because right there, it's either a will issue or a skill issue, and it's very hard to teach will. You know what I mean? It's so hard. You can't, and Preston told me that too. You can't want it for someone else. And he says that all the time to me with some teams that we have. He's like, dude, Travis, I know you want this team to succeed, but you can't want it for them. He's like, if they're not responding to your email or not reaching out to you for help, like you can only do so much. Don't bang your head against the wall and focus on the people that are asking for help. You know what I mean? And focus on the people that want to be there, the people that show up every day, that do the numbers and do the metrics. So my big thing was look at how your guys are like routing leads to people. Like, and I do believe you start at the top and work your way down, like tier it off. Like, I don't care if you're playing favorites, but play favorites, man. It's still a business at the end of the day. Like I'm not here to make friends in a sense, but I mean, we are along the way, but if I want to make friends with the right people, you know what I mean? Claire Gogan posted a great video the other day of you are who you surround yourself with. And she posted a video. It was a freaking strawberry, I think it was. And it was, what was it? It was moldy and it was attached to another ripe strawberry. And like over time, that other strawberry like got moldy also. So it's like surround yourself with winners, man. For sure. So, but yeah, that's why I said feed the top. And if the top is too fed, then let it trickle down to the people that are trying to work their way up. You know what I mean? So I always say start with your lead route and how you guys are bringing things in. And then honestly, from there, like just have everybody have a set standard in place. Like you were required to have 35 conversations a week, or you're required, it starts somewhere. Like, yo, you're required to have 5 conversations this week. Yeah. Everybody can do that. Like, great. Now, like next week, 10. Next week, 15. Okay, we're at a struggle at 15. Let's say 12. Let's get everybody to 12. You know what I mean? Like, it's just start with mini wins and work your way up. You can only be like, all right, guys, you guys have never done 5 conversations above. We're doing 50 this week. Like, don't be taking leaps and bounds. Like, it's just little wins every day. So
that's huge, man. That was a big needle mover for us was having that standard be very clear.
Mm-hmm.
And for us, even today, it's 20 conversations a week to be able to have opportunities provided to you, right?
Absolutely.
Having access to some of the first claims and all that fun stuff.
Yep.
And when we implemented just the standard, there was a change, right? And one thing I've heard before is like a standard that is not upheld is just a suggestion. So you got to make sure you're strong on holding that standard for your team. Now, we've not increased it yet. We may at one point increase it to 25 a week, 30 a week, but we do have people on our team, and T can literally pull up our follow-up boss and can verify this. He can attest to it. You don't have to, but
Oh, it's not
by the way, one thing about T, I've never seen anyone in my life click so fast and follow a boss. It's like it's crazy.
It's the gamer in me, man. I played professional.
Hey, man.
I played professional video games for like 6 years. So like,
oh yeah, I could boy. I was like, damn.
That's why I sit here all day long, and people are like, "What?" That makes a lot of sense, man. It's so
yeah.
funny.
I'm like, man, this dude is too quick. But one thing I would say is like, when you have those standards in place, it makes a difference. You just got to hold them. But we have people now, since implementing that standard and being strong on holding that standard, people on our team have hit 50 conversations, 60, 70 conversations in a single week. And there's no surprise that we have people on our team that are closing 4, 5, maybe 6 deals a month, right? From doing that. But a big help has been Travis and Digital Maverick, like really guiding us as to the things, really how to operate through the CRM at a high level, the management that they do, the coaching, because one thing that we didn't even really mention is just overall dialogue training that they help us with too. It's like, here's what you say when this lead gives you this objection, right? Here's how you handle that. Here's how you build as much rapport as possible on the phone call. Here's how you navigate through that real estate conversation. So when you put it all together, and that's when you see the growth. So,
and even looking at it, man, you do not have a single user in your entire FUB this month that doesn't have less than 25 conversations. Like there are teams that don't have like year to date 25 conversations, man. Like I'm not kidding. Like that's the crazy thing. And you have just this month alone, there's not a single user in your FUB, but that user that has 20, like the lowest, he still has 1,500 dials like this. You know what I mean? Like you can tell me that that's not effort. And then your top person has 162 2-minute conversations this month. 162 conversations this month, dude. 1,167 conversations as a team this month, which is insane because the thing that we focus on, you know what I mean? The connect to conversations. And I'm terrible at math, but I'm pretty sure that's close to 80%. But your guys have connected with 1,445 people this month. You have talked to 1,167 for 2 minutes or more. So like that means you're connected to conversations is so well done because that means your agents don't just take no for an answer. They're like, yo, I'm not getting off this call without asking for an appointment or a next step. Like you can't just say no to me and get off the phone. That's not happening. That's amazing. That's so sick. I love seeing that stuff. So I mean, it's awesome.
Appreciate that, man. Shout out to the effort that the team is putting in, being coachable, being committed, and being consistent, because that is what it requires in today's market. T, my guy. So let's unpack a little more of the challenges or maybe the mistakes that you notice people do when it comes to lead conversion, or maybe like there's a lot of.
Man, how much time do we have for this?
Huh?
I said, how much time do we have?
Oh, man.
Okay, that's what I mean. If you want me to ask that, you want to unpack that question, we can unpack that.
Let's unpack it, brother.
It's so good. I mean, some of the things that people make, like the biggest mistakes teams make, is that like the failures you're thinking?
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest failure that we see is they don't take the time to ask questions. Like that's the biggest thing. Like they'll get into a system. We'll just sign up for something. They'll sign up for a product. Even we'll talk about Digital Maverick. They'll sign up for Digital Maverick. But they won't take the time to ask the question. They won't take the time to understand what it is that we actually do. until it's too late. You know what I mean? Until it's to the point where it's like, yo, we've been trying to reach out to you, or like we've been trying to set opportunities. We've been tagging you in these things in FUB, like, and you haven't had the chance to slow down to learn it, right? That's why I always say, like, yeah, it's a partnership. Like, it's not one of those things where you turn us on and just hope it works, because it will work, and it can work like that. But you just have to take the time to understand exactly where it's at. You know what I mean? Like, understand what's happening with it. Because there are teams that we've had for over a year that we don't even talk to anymore, but we're still just pumping in their database. Might be maybe an email here or there, just clarifying something whenever we do something new. And there's like, what is this? I'm like, oh, sorry, I haven't seen you in a year. So that's what this is. You know what I mean? They're like, all right, cool. And it's like, okay, awesome. So yeah, the biggest failure though, I mean, that teams make when it comes to conversion is just not knowing the system that they're in, regardless of CRM, whether it's Follow Boss, whether it's Boomtown, whether it's Bullet Trails, like KV Court, all those different platforms. You know what I mean? They just don't take the time to understand it or learn. And like me and you, we sat on call before looking at the reporting, the agent activity, trying to understand things, like, and understanding staging, for instance. What was that thing that me and you and Amanda looked at the other day, right? We pulled up all your hots, your warms, your nurtures.
Yep.
We were able to tell and easily identify on average how many closings we'll have a month just based off of how people are staging, because your agents use the system. So it can really give you an idea of like what to expect in the future. And it's like, oh, why are pendings down? Well, our team hasn't brought any hots in this month. You know what I mean? It's like they haven't put anybody in hot this month. Everything's in warm. So it's like, okay. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just one of those things, like really slowing down to speed up, like I always tell people to do. And it kind of goes against like what me and Matt were talking about the other day. But what is it? He says, ready, shoot, aim.
Ready, fire, aim.
Yeah, ready, fire, aim. And I'm like, yes, I agree for almost 99% of all of that. But when it comes to systems and processes, sometimes it has to like slow down. But I don't think he was talking about systems. He's very much the same mindset of like, yo, we need to understand this before we just start implementing this stuff. So so that's my big thing, is slowing down to speed up when it comes down to your systems that you guys are using. But some team leads can do it very well. Some struggle with it because like they are so quick to change views. And like, that's something I see across a lot of CEOs, especially that we've been working with recently, is just, they're just like, all right, tell me your failures. I'm like, yo, you need to slow down and learn this. Don't be afraid to ask me a question. Don't feel as if you're going to be overwhelming. Don't feel as, like, you know what I mean? It's trying to calm them down, because they will feel as if they're being annoying. Like, everybody feels as if they're annoying sometimes, but it's like, that's not the case. And it's your job as the leader to understand it deeply, or you can't talk about it if you don't understand it. And that's the same thing with leads. That's why it's tough sometimes to see people that have never sold real estate try to talk about real estate. It's just like, that's why I will never sit, and I'll always say, like, I'm going to be the first person to tell everybody I've never sold a house before, right? Like, I've only been in ISA for 7 years. So like, I have failed a lot, but like, I have always been the same consistent person. That's a big thing, is nobody is consistent with these leads. Some of these leads that people are generating, like pay-per-click or Google leads, they need consistent follow-up. Right. Doesn't matter if it's once every 30 days. As long as it's once every 30 days, you will be fine. But just once every 30 days, like, sometimes that's all that's needed. But if you let it go 35 days, 36 days, 40 days, like, you're going to miss an opportunity. That's why we always set the standard of, if you have a company generated lead in your name, you have to talk to it every 30 days, or we need to take it out of your name and let someone else do it, because you will miss that opportunity. Right.
That's huge.
People just don't do it. It's just crazy, but that's because they don't have the bandwidth for it. And I get it.
So real quick, my team leaders, he just dropped a bomb for you that you can literally take and implement it into your team standards right now, and it would help you. I think you just said, if it's a company generated lead, you should be reaching out to it every 30 days, to that person every 30 days. And if you can't, that your at capacity, and we need to remove that lead and give it to somebody who has the capacity.
Exactly.
Like, just that, taking that and implementing it will make a difference. Right.
That's like the lead sweeps every 15th and 30th we do for teams. It's like, yo, if you're not gonna follow up with this lead every 15th and 30th, you know the day it's coming. So like, all you need to do is make sure you go in your database every 14th or 29th to make sure nobody's over 30 days. And if you can't even do that, you don't need that lead. It's not worth your time, because you're focused elsewhere. Right. So like, it's just simple stuff like that sometimes. And that's me. Like, what is it? Greg says it's simplify to amplify. Just simple things like that. That's not me trying to overcomplicate anything. 15th, 30th, sweeping leads that haven't been talked to in 30 days. That's not complicated.
That's so good. And just even implementing, and I learned this from you guys, the call, text, email, right? Like, what I notice, some agents will they'll make a reach out attempt like a call, won't get like a pickup. It will clear out the smart list. And they're like, okay, cool, I'm done.
I did it.
It's like, you still got to try to get engagement. So send a text and an email, like still like attempt to get engagement back. Otherwise, you can go 6 months and never talk to this person just because you were making one call every 30 days.
Oh yeah. Do you know what love language is, Antoine?
Absolutely.
So I also kind of do. I'm terrible at it, but I understand it, right? Like, so like there's like what? Words of affirmation, there's gifts, there's quality time. Yeah, physical touch. There's a lot of different like things like that. That is exactly how I look at people's databases, right? Every single person in your database has their own love language. But the way that to me it's not actual love language. It's call, text, or email. That's your love language. Every lead has a love language, whether it's call, text, or email. Some people prefer phone calls. Some people prefer text. Some people prefer email. You'll never once close a lead without ever talking to them on the phone, but it's not your job to pick and choose that time for them to jump on the phone. They'll jump on the phone when it's time and it's ready for them to buy a house. But if you just need to text them in the meantime, that's fine. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people have 700 text messages back and forth and never talk to that person on the phone, but then they close the lead and guess what? They got on the phone. Like they did get on the phone. It's not like they closed the lead with just by text. So yeah, man, it's interesting sometimes that people try to choose how, like, you know what I mean? I see it. And the only reason why I say this is because I've seen people try to be like, well, I'm not going to talk to them. They won't call me back. I'm like, well, guess what? When another agent texts that lead and that lead texts them back, they're going to work with them and you're going to be discouraged. So like you're really shutting yourself off to a whole different world out there if you're not open to texting or emailing people and you're just strictly calling, which is fine. You do need to do the dials, but you need to try all of it. Yes. You can't say this lead's ghosting me if you haven't tried to text it or email it.
Bingo. Like
it's not ghosting you.
and then what typically happens after that? Blame the lead.
This lead sucks.
I need more.
It's like,
and it
lead doesn't suck. You suck. Like I apologize. It's on you.
So good. And the reason why, like, I laugh about this, and it's funny, but I also understand too.
Painful.
It's painful, and I know genuinely there are people out there that's the way they think. It's the leads suck and blah 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 blah, and they're not ready to go right now, so they're trash and all the stuff. And it's like most people, and I don't have the data in front of me, but from what I understand, about 10, maybe 12% of the time, people are going to pick up the phone when you call them. Right. So you have to do multiple.
That's if you're lucky. That's high, bro. That's high.
Okay. Well, yeah. See, so you have to have the mindset that I need to make frequent reach out attempts. Okay. Before I can judge the person, the lead. Right. Do you have a proven process that you follow that generates high conversion? And if you don't, then don't blame the lead. Look in the mirror and blame yourself. Okay. Like it's that simple.
This thing is a bad lead, just bad follow-up.
Yeah. And this has come from somebody who used to cold call. Like that was what I built in my first 3 to 4 years. I mean, it was all Facebook leads and circle prospecting. So that was all I knew was follow up. Like my follow up game had to be on point because most people if you're looking on Facebook and you scroll across a house, your intention wasn't to buy a house. You were scrolling for entertainment, and then you click my ad, and then now I'm calling you. Like you're not interested in real estate. Maybe you just saw a house that caught your eye, right?
Exactly.
But now I gotta be able to have a conversation with you to build rapport and to have a nurture system, follow-up system that 8 months from now, when you are ready, you choose me, right? So I don't know, man.
That's what it is. It's exactly how you say. Like if you don't have like a system or you don't have you don't have some specific process in place, like that is exactly what it needs to be. Like you need to have something. It can't just be treating every lead different. Like this is going to sound weird, but like you don't treat every lead different, right? You're going to treat every lead different when you get them on the phone or when you get them on a text or you get them on an email thread. Like that's when you treat them different. But the ways that you get a hold of someone is never different. You call them, you text them, you email them. You text them, you call them, you email them. You email them, you text them, you call them. Like, it's not any different way to get a hold of them. But like the process in which when you have the conversation, yeah, every person's going to be a different LP model that you're going to fill out. Nobody's looking for the exact same thing. You know what I mean? Everyone's going to be different in what their actual journey looks like, but the reach out attempts needs to be a specific process, which is why it's been easy for me with Digital Maverick to replicate it across all different teams, because it's all the same at the end of the day. Like, we're all trying to convert leads and we're all trying to reach out and have conversations and get a hold of people. So yeah, that's just my thing to that.
Awesome, man. Well, T, before we wrap up, because I want to honor and respect your time.
Oh, dude, we got 30 minutes. What are you talking about? I don't got time. You can go
okay,
deep as you want. You go as deep as you want.
Okay. Hey, I appreciate that. Well, let's talk about when it comes to who would you say would be in a position to partner with Digital Maverick? Like, what is the ideal? What is your avatar? You know, if somebody's listening to this and they're like, well, am I ready for that yet? Like, what would you tell that person?
It kind of made me laugh when I was thinking about that, but like, it sounds really bad. Anybody that takes their business serious should look into Digital Maverick, in my honest opinion. The reason why I say that is because you won't find anybody as passionate about lead conversion or lead generation as people like Nikki, me, Preston. You know what I mean? You're not going to find anybody that genuinely cares about the agents and the people. Like, yes, I will say it a lot. I hate real estate agents all the time. But I love them. You know what I mean? My mom's been in real estate for like 20 something years. I've had my license. I'm licensed like 3 different states. So like, you know what I mean? Like, and I say it nicely, but you know what I mean? I still genuinely care. That's the reason why I became an ISA, right? It wasn't because of the money, because like, as an ISA, you're not making a lot of money. You're like 24,000 base salary, and then like 5% of what the agent makes. Like, you know what I mean? 5% of the 3%. You know what I mean? If I wanted to be an agent, or like if I was in it for the money, I would have been an agent, right? But like, it always made me laugh because I like genuinely cared about giving agents, like filling up 2 cups, right? I cared about helping the client because I really enjoyed setting appointments with clients and having conversations, meeting a lot of new people, and then helping my agents. Like, they were always so grateful when I set appointments. Like, they were always just like, holy shit, thank you so much. This is awesome. Like, now they have a chance to like, you know what I mean? Now they have a chance to like better their life. Like, they have families that they have to take care of. I help make an impact on their life. You know what I mean? That was the reason why I stuck with being an ISA for so long. And that's when, with partnering with John and Preston and Digital Maverick, like, we were able to kind of blow that up even more and help all these different teams, because it allowed me to be an ISA, but for everybody. And you know what I mean? The people that partner with us are people that really do take their business serious, because they know they can go to me with anything, and they know that they can ask me any question, and I'm never going to be like, oh, maybe you shouldn't do this. Like, it's not about money for me. It's about making sure that they are converting, that they are helping their agents and their teams. And like, that's just the impact. That's how we're passionate about it. So
that's so good, man. Yeah. And I think when it comes to just, if you're somebody who is running a team, you're a team leader, or maybe you're a solo agent and you have a CRM, like he mentioned, you're ready, right? Like, optimize what you already have. Like, this year for us, we're on pace to help right around 300 families. Okay. So we're going to increase our business by
350. We're hitting 350 easy.
Oh yeah. But I wouldn't confidently say that because we're only in February, right? So it's not like we're halfway through the year and I have the numbers to see, oh yeah, we're definitely on pace to. I'm saying that right now because the systems, the processes, the partnership with Digital Maverick, the agents that we have on our team that are, again, making those dials, having those conversations, they're showing up to the role plays with Nikki, right? Like, Nikki is a powerhouse when it comes to dialogues in real estate conversations. When you put all that together, man, like, there's no way you can go backwards. Like, only growth is the only option. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
now,
absolutely.
I do want to say too, like, there are probably some people out here, maybe they're not using Follow Up Boss, maybe they're using different CRMs and stuff like that. Again, all CRMs are great. You just got to commit to using it. Okay. Like, whichever CRM you're using, commit to optimizing and maximizing what you already got. All right. My team use Follow Up Boss. Well, my question for you, T, is does somebody have to use Follow Up Boss to be able to partner with Digital Maverick, or can they use anyone?
So I would always put, we are also, I mean, we do have a team in like KV Core, or
Okay.
I think it's Gold Trails now. But we always just, I mean, at the end of the day, almost every team that's always ever been with another CRM has always just been like, how do we get into FUB? You know what I mean? Like we've helped just so many teams get out of their CRM into FUB, you know, and it's just funny because it's like, it is a great CRM and it focuses on the one thing that you need, which is just like accountability. And
Yes.
like, as you were saying, like you can really pull up all of this stuff and see, you know what I mean? And kind of look at all the leads that are in the system. How are they being talked to? Who's doing what with what, all of that stuff. Right. So it's just, that's why I always try and push people to do FUB. But yeah, you would have to be in Follow Up Boss because that's just something that I can really like show you and easily help you identify all the issues that you're having in your database.
Awesome. Yep. And I agree with that. Follow Up Boss, in my opinion, has been, and I've probably used maybe 4 or 5 different CRMs up to this point, and Follow Up Boss has been the most seamless and as far as like the what do you call it? It's easy to use. It's
like
easy.
Yeah, no, it's seriously, it's like for third graders. Like that's, you can, but the cool part is it's so customizable.
Yep.
And this isn't a plug for FUB, but it is customizable. You can name the stages, you can change everything. Like you can like build out your action plans. It's just so well done and designed for like for client friendly, like, and you, the agent being the client, like you don't have to do a lot of clicks. And that's why I always tell people, the more clicks you have to do in a CRM to like find people to talk to work leads, the less houses you're spending the time selling, right? Because like that means you have to worry about being in your system and doing all this stuff. But like if it's easy and click this list, call this list, click this list, call this list. You know what I mean? Like that's simple. That's simple, right?
So good. Well, let's pivot real quick. I have a question for you. This is more of a personal question, T. So over the past couple years, what's the biggest lessons you've learned when it comes to, you know, your growth as an individual and being more competent in your position, being able to now pour into teams, into CEOs, into agents? Like, what has been some of the biggest lessons that you have learned over the past year or two?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Oh man, set boundaries.
Ooh, I like that.
Set boundaries. Not just boundaries like cutting myself off from people, like healthy boundaries, like healthy boundaries, like to the point where it's like, hey, like Travis, it's 9:00 at night. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like hitting me up and they're like, hey, can wait for the morning. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's certain things that like, because it was me personally, I used to be, no matter what time was, did not matter. Like I was just burning myself out trying to make sure everybody was happy. But when you're at 90 something clients, like it's very difficult to do that. And then you can tell yourself like, okay, you don't want to, you want to do this forever. Like I want to do this forever, right? I don't want to just do this for a year and be done with it. Like that was my whole mindset of it. And I was like, okay, I got to actually be able to shut it off sometimes and be able to come in the morning, like ready to go. So that's why it's like, I changed things around, right? Like I would end my day at like 6. And then if something was super urgent, then I would have like an EA text me and tell me it's super urgent, we need to take care of it. But if I don't get a text message, then it was okay to wait until the morning. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't like, hey, this lead flow needs to be shut off immediately, right? Like that type of stuff is urgent. Like, but if it's like, hey, it's an email, hey, Travis, can you answer this question on the EOD report? Like that type of stuff could be answered in the morning, right? It's super simple stuff. And that was like me personally. I was like, I could tell I was just I was burning at both ends of the stick. You know what I mean? It was just like trying to keep it going. But once I put like boundaries on myself and not like to teams and saying you guys don't have access to me, but like myself personally, I saw a massive growth from like just how we were approaching teams and how I was going to these meetings. Like I wasn't like going to meetings with like nothing to talk about. I was already like looking at things that, hey, like what do we need to cover today? What's the most important thing we need to look at? Like I was ready, right? It allowed me to prepare myself mentally because I wasn't just, didn't I just help with this 3 hours ago when I was awake? You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, this healthy boundaries, but I think that goes to say with like everybody, even real estate agents need to make healthy boundaries for themselves. And I say that a lot because, you know what I mean? That's why the first thing in your agent day in the life says, obviously you got texts and emails over the course of the night. Hopefully you set boundaries with your clients to say, if it's after 9, it can wait, but you know, your clients aren't going to care about your boundaries. They're still going to text you and email you. So you're going to have texts and emails the next morning when you wake up. So like, it's just, as long as you stick to them, like because you don't want to set false expectations with clients. Like, oh yeah, Travis replies at all hours of the day. And it's like, well, he doesn't reply to me at all hours of the day. It's like, can't set false expectations with people sometimes.
Agents do that all the time. It's like, I'm always available. I'm always available. And then they get mad that like, oh my God, I always work every day and every night.
Yes.
And I'm having to respond to a text at 1 o'clock in the morning. It's like,
yeah, I mean, if that's what you're looking for, man, 8 to 5 is your job. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it is. Like, you need to be able to set that. And I tell people that all the time, like, as real estate agents, like, this is an 8 to 8 sort of job until it's not. You know what I mean? Like, it is all 24 hours a day. It never shuts off until you are able to set boundaries with yourself and say, hey, I respect my time enough to do this. But that also makes you much more like approachable as a person. You know what I mean? Like, you're putting yourself on a whole nother level, which clients, believe it or not, you might think they won't, but they actually do respect that. Like, that's the crazy thing about it. You know what I mean? Like, I've had people like you, like Matt, Jordan. I've had a lot of people be like, yo, respect your time. Like, yo, set boundaries. Like, that's fine. Like, hey, can I do this in the morning? They're like, yeah, dude, what? You want me to do this now? I'm just like, oh, shoot. Okay. So, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you'd be surprised on how many clients will respect you more for the boundaries that you set with yourself sometimes.
100%. Yeah, I agree with all of that, man. That's huge. And I appreciate you sharing that, because it really does apply to everyone who's in business, just in life in general, man. That's good.
It is hard. It is hard, though. I will tell you that. It is very hard. When you love what you do, like when you are very passionate about what you do, like look at Preston, man. Like that man does not stop. And I love him to death, but I'm the same way. You know what I mean? Like, it's me and him. Like, we'll be on a trip and it'll just be us on this trip. We're literally just working on this entire trip. Just like, that's fine, dude. That's what it is. But that's how much we care about it. And that's why I always tell people, like, yo, Digital Mavericks for you if you want to really just go to the next level, or try to at least. Yeah,
for sure. And shout out to my guy Preston, man. Like, Preston, we appreciate all you do, brother.
You got to get him on here, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He would be a wild ride.
Hey, Preston's a G, man, for sure. That's my guy. You did mention the EOD report. That's the end of day report, right?
Yeah.
What is that? Like, for my peeps that don't know, what's the end of day report?
Yeah, I'll show you. No, yeah, it's actually I am a weirdo when it comes to like showing you what we did, because I feel as if like, and this is also a personal problem of mine, but I feel as if I need to prove that we're doing something in the database. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that was me with my CEO as an ISA. I needed every single day to send, and I used to do this, not exact same report, but I used to do an EOD every single day to my CEO, no matter like my first team for 4 years to my next team for 2 years. You know what I mean? I did it every year or every day, saying I called this many people, I texted this many people, I had this many conversations. So it's almost like what it is. And I can actually show you here, because I think it lets me share my screen, right?
Yeah, will it let you?
Yeah. So like here, for instance, can you see this screen right here?
Now we can.
Yeah. So this is an example of like your most recent end of day report, right? This was the one from the 24th.
Oh, damn. Is this ours?
Yes, yours. No, hey, no, trust me, yours is not as bad as you'd think, right? Like, so this is just going to show you like, hey, today, and this is, I always laugh. This is like the most clickbait title ever. I just want you to open it. I want you to look at it, right? Our team is missing out on $9.7 million of volume. Oh my God, how? And it's like, oh, it's only 36 leads and agents' names that aren't being talked to for more than 30 days, right? Because that's what we just say. If 30 days they haven't been talked to. All right. So yeah, this is the end of day report. This is one of the 3 reports we'll send out, but we just recently added on with like the DCM, like opportunity tracker, which like brings it up and shows you like, hey, we sent this lead to this agent. This is what happened with it, right? And it kind of allows us to show people like, oh, this is a group text. It's like, just as this is an example, right? It shows you, hey, well, this was just for January. We sent these leads out to these agents over here. We group texted these leads names like Hazel with Candy. This is what they're looking for, yada, 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 right? And it kind of just shows you exactly what they're doing, because we're big about inspecting what we expect, right? And that's closing as much as possible.
I love it. I love that, man. Like, so you guys do so much in like the end of the day report. I always open it whenever I get it every single day. And just to look to see like, oh goodness, $8 million in volume, $9 million in volume. And I always approach the next day with the mindset of how can that end of day report volume that we're missing out on get dropped by half or something like that. But no, I really do appreciate that. T, you
just to give you like a look in your database. Go ahead.
Huh?
I said it was just to give you guys like a look into your database of like,
Yep,
so
yep,
if like you
100%.
station you weren't in your database, here's a report to show you like what happened today. That was what I always thought about.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely helpful, and I know a lot of team leaders and CEOs probably don't have an idea
Yeah,
as to what
sometimes
is happening in their data bank. So that's huge.
it's the scary
Um,
part.
Now, you and Preston, you guys have your own podcast. I listen to it. I really enjoy it. You guys are funny. But what's more important is you guys drop so many gold nuggets.
Preston
And
making fun of me the whole
you,
time.
you guys have been doing what's your podcast for what, a year and a half, maybe now? A year?
Yeah, just about over a year.
Yeah, what's the name of it?
Click to close.
Click to close.
Click to
Every
close
time
podcast.
Travis opens up, they always do click to close.
Yeah, it's the click to close podcast.
Yep. And it's fire. Where can people, if they wanted to listen to that podcast, where can they listen to it?
I think honestly, anywhere that you could listen to any podcast, I think you should just type in "click to close." It'll come up. It's just from like the lead generation side to the lead conversion side. So the clicking part to the closing part, and just all the aspects of like what happens in between. But yeah, it's something that we like to focus on, and I realize like whether anybody listens to it or not, and it's great that you do. So now I know we have one listener, 2 listeners. Jamie also listens to it. So yeah, so like it's great because it's, as long as we're trying to provide value every single time, like we just want people to understand that there's so many resources out there that they can listen to, agents can go to, like things to just anybody that wants to take real estate serious and is actually going to take it serious is going to be so damn successful.
Yeah.
Right. That's the interesting thing, because Greg Harrelson talks about it a lot, but he's like, I have agents that literally work every day for 3 hours a day and they're making well over $300,000 a year. Right.
Yeah.
Just like literally like 8 to 11, they're just making dials, setting themselves up with 2 to 3 appointments for that night. Then they go out and do the showings. Then they come back the next day, do it again. It's just rinse, repeat. Like it is the most redundant, boring shit. But the more boring you are, the richer you are. Because like if you can just stick to it, it's like the people that go to the gym. You know what I mean? Like the people that go to the gym, it's like, oh my God, this is so boring. Sometimes it is boring, but the fact that you did it, that's why you're in good shape. You know, that's the crazy thing.
Yep.
Like, you might hate it.
I love that. I always tell the team the boring work creates a sexy life.
Oh yeah.
So like embrace the mundane, you know what I'm saying? And Greg Harrelson is again another guy that, if you don't know who Greg is, he's a monster when it comes to this real estate shit. Like he's high level and he will preach. Just like how what we're talking about right now, it's generating the opportunity and being able to convert. And you better have in your morning schedule a 3 to 4 hour time block of you making your calls and doing the work, right?
Yep.
You need to find every single day a person to employ you. Otherwise, you're going to go to bed unemployed and that's your fault, right? Yep. So I appreciate that. Well, T, hey man, this was fire, dude. I love this, man. And I think one more thing. Yeah. When it comes down to, and this is just because we're in 2025, and I know there are agents and team leaders that experienced it was a tough year in 2024 for a lot of people.
Not if you're Anthwon, though.
What?
40% increase, dog. I'm just telling you. That's just it's not a fake number, man. It's the
real deal. But I want people to just understand, make the investment into your business. Make the investment into your business. Learn more about, like, connect with Travis. Learn more about what Digital Maverick is, okay? Your money maker is going to be based on how organized and how frequent your database is being communicated with. That's going to determine your 2025. Why not take the step and at least learn more about how Anthwon, the Silverline Real Estate Group, and some of the top teams in the country, and I'm talking about teams that are doing 500, 700, 1,000 deals a year, all right? How they're able to convert more leads that are in their database, and actually they're dropping the amount of new leads they're spending. Like their spending budget for new leads, they're probably dropping that. As a matter of fact, there's a couple of team leaders I spoke with, and they were like, "Yeah, I completely cut off new lead spend." We just been converting more of what we already have.
Yep.
Do yourself a favor, reach out to Travis, have the conversation to see what Digital Maverick and what T can do for you. Travis, if people wanted to reach out to you, connect, how can people reach you?
Oh man, just on anywhere on Facebook. Anybody wants to find me on Facebook, it's just Travis J. Halverson. If anybody needs help, I'm always there. Send me a message. I respond.
Yeah.
As fast as possible. So
and he ain't lying, because he does. Every time I reach out, he's typically within like a minute. I'm like, damn, bro. Like, oh, yeah, I appreciate it.
It's the ISA in me. It's the ISA in me.
I'm not making that promise for y'all. Like, hey, listen, give the man, hey, the man's busy, okay? So if he get back to you, give him 24 hours, all right?
Yeah, that I do say. I say drive it. I'll do it. If it's an email and I'm like, yo, nobody's dying, like I will do it within 24 hours for sure.
Well, yeah, reach out to T and definitely connect with him, because what they got going on over there is powerful. And like I said, man, I'm honored to be in business with you guys. So I thank you guys for all you do for us. Y'all know where to find me. Facebook, all social media platforms. Hopefully this was valuable to you guys. Leave us a 5-star review, like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. Go subscribe to Click to Close podcast on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, all of that. I'm telling you, it's fire. I've been listening to it for listen to you're talking about Preston and Travis, two of the best. They know what they're talking about. Go subscribe to their stuff too. But that's all we got, y'all. See, appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, man. You're awesome.
All right, y'all. Y'all take care. Peace.
Peace.